and so folks can sign up for the 8 sessions to learn how to garden either on Saturday or Monday track. That is being ready to release actually in the next few days, so it'll be on our website very shortly. And yeah, just wanted to, we have our seed celebration on Saturday, March 29th. And also, talk about Leslie's timing. In addition to the park's blossoming dance festivities on March 15th, we also have our every Saturday we have our family pharmacy program, but I figured I'd shout out if you're going to the Blossom festivities for dance at the park, come on over a little early to Family Pharmacy. We're also talking about blossoming and unfurling of flowering trees nearby, and that's 11 to 12:30. It's great if you have a little one who's in a dance program and you want to come with the sibling and yourself. Come by to the greenhouse, learn about some flowering trees, have some flowering tree tea. And yeah, I'll drop the postcard with our full schedule in the chat. And we're still accepting field trips, which are free for CB9. They're filling up fast, so I would get your school in soon. Thank you.
Are there any questions for Mallory?
I have a question. Hi, Mallory. It's Annette. How are you?
Hi, Annette. Good. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. You mentioned March the 29th for Seed Day. Are you guys also giving out seeds to
Yes.
folks to attend? Okay.
We sure are. We'll be doing some seed planting. We're giving away a whole bunch of seeds. Yeah, I didn't give you the timing on that. I'm so sorry. 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Saturday, March 29th. And I'll be sure to send it out to Youtha and the distribution list and everything for the event flyer.
Any other questions for Mallory? And do we have anyone from Green Thumb here? Do we have Cynthia or Ashley from Green Thumb? Okay, anyone for the National Park Service? Is Callie on today? Okay, very good. Wesley, with Riverside Park, West Harlem here. I see you, Wesley. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. How are you doing? Can you hear me okay tonight? Thank you, everyone, and appreciate everybody coming out here. I'll be very brief. Respect everybody's time. Appreciate you here tonight. Just have a few quick announcements, and that's that our dog run at West 142nd is still on scheduled to be completed on time. So we're hoping for an April completion, but everything's moving along there on that project. Again, we're just hoping for some warm weather, which it looks like we're going to get here for a final wrap up there. Also, too, happy to announce at Sakura Park, we're going to be repaving the interior pathways, and that's going to make a huge improvement on that park. We expect to begin that in April. We may meet before that starts, but I wanted to put that out there just for information out there as early as possible to anybody who utilizes that park, that at sometime in April, we'll be starting to pave that. It won't be a very long project. We expect to get to that pretty quick, but again, can't wait to get that done. It really needs it. Cherry Walk also, we'll be wrapping up very soon. We're on schedule on that. We don't have a date yet as when we're going to end, but again, should be sometime in late April or definitely early spring. So we'll be wrapping up Cherry Walk and have that site open. And let me see, I think that's it for my updates. And if I could, I'm going to step in for Stephanie from the Conservancy. If I could take her for a minute, and she's not able to make it tonight, but they had some information they would like for me to pass on. And that's also to mention that we have a gardening volunteer event at Ralph Ellison Plaza, Saturday, March 22nd from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. So anybody interested in that, we'd love to have you out there. And then also we have a litter cleanup at 143rd on Saturday, March 29th from 10 a.m. to 12:30. So we appreciate everyone that would be available to help and make that area clean and safe and get it ready for the goats coming up this summer. So If there's any questions with that, feel free to reach out to me and I'll put you in contact with the Conservancy. And if there's any questions for me, I'd be happy to try to address.
The Sakura Park, what's being repaved again?
The interior pathways.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And you said 143rd Street cleanup, right? Or the
131st. Yes, 131st. 143rd.
You got it.
Cleanup. March 22nd from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions for Wesley? Riverside Park Conservancy, very good. All righty.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Stephanie, are you on? No, he did. He did, Stephanie, that's right, yeah, I'm sorry. Karen, I see you, Karen.
Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's staying dry. I'll be really brief as well, but as the park is springing to life these next few weeks especially, so are all of our activities starting back up again. So it's always an exciting time of year for us. We just to mention a couple things, we actually just did a shared calendar this week and we're already up to about 36 events that are going to be happening over the course of 2025 so far, which is really exciting. But focusing kind of on the most immediate things, two dates to keep in mind. On April the 12th, we'll be having our annual Big Earth Day event in conjunction with the Trash Project and the Alpha Kappa Alpha alumni, as well as Friends of St. Nicholas Park. So that's usually like 12 to 4, and we'll send a flyer around and a lot of information for that. And then on the 19th, this Saturday, usually around noon to 1:30, we're going to have our annual Easter egg hunt and visit by the Easter Bunny. So those are 2 things to look out for. And then our cleanups will start again in May, and then the calendar will start to roll out from there. And I'll update all of that, of course, as we reach each month. So that's it.
Do we have any questions for Karen for anything regarding St. Nicholas Park? The Easter egg hunt and the Big Earth Day event. All right. I think I see Clyde on with Friends of Morningside Park. Or is Brigham on also?
I'm on.
Oh, great, nice to see you, Clyde, thanks for coming.
Yeah. So I'll just also be very brief. Our first major upcoming event is Saturday, April 26th. So this Saturday after Earth Day, we'll have our community barbecue, which is us providing some scrumptious food that's open to anybody who wants to come into the park that afternoon. Prior to that, on the same day, it being late to Earth Day, we'll have a volunteer event where we'll have various groups come in to do things, volunteering to clean up, plant, mulch, whatever we decide at the time is most useful for the park. We also have restarted our regular Friday morning volunteer events, which are less formal. So anybody who wants to show up around 9 o'clock at the park each Friday, we decide where we'll meet and what activity we'll have. But we've started those now for the late winter and spring. So I know that there's a couple of activities, but they're more things that are planned by the Parks Department. So I think Tapashi and or Matt will cover those things, but those are the major things from the side of the Friends of Morningside Park. So I don't know if any questions about those.
Questions for Clyde with Friends of Morningside Park? Thank you so much.
I thought I did.
Okay.
Oh, for Tapaji. Oh, I see it. Great.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Can you see me? Yes, you can see me. Okay, so I just wanted to let you know that the Jackie Robinson Festival is on April 12th this year from 12 to 4. That's one of the biggest events for Jackie Robinson, and the entire park is activated. This year we're focusing on the sports that Jackie received letters for in college. So that is basketball, baseball, track and field, and flag football. So we'll have clinics throughout the park from 150th Street all the way to the back of the park at 153rd. And we're also closing down one of the streets, or half of the street, and we'll have some DJ on the street and then like music at the band show as well. So come out not too far from Community Board 9, and also if there's anybody from the Community Board 9 who wants to table at the event, please contact me. We're happy to have you. Also, lifeguard qualifying tests are ongoing until March 16th. To qualify, you must be at least 16 years of age by the start of employment, have at least 20/30 vision in one eye and 20/40 in the other without corrective lens. Glasses and contact lens may not be worn during the eye exam, and you have to be able to swim 50 yards in 50 seconds or less with proper form. I can drop a link in the chat which shows the locations on where you can get tested to become a lifeguard. Also, summer camp registration is open. Summer camp runs from Monday, July 7th to Friday, August 22nd. Registration is done by lottery and open from Monday, March 3rd to Saturday, March 22nd. I'll also drop this link in the chat. The summer camp program is an exciting chance for kids 6 to 13 to have a fun-filled summer. Campers engage in sports, fitness, and outdoor adventures while taking part in many of New York City's rich cultural and educational opportunities. And for St. Nicholas, some of those events that Karen mentioned includes we'll have 3 movie screenings in the park. This will be on May 31st, August 2nd, celebrating James Baldwin, and October 18th, celebrating it will be a Halloween celebration.
Nice.
Yep. Are there any questions for me?
If Tapashi, when we put the lifeguard information, would you also include the dates in the chat?
Mhm.
For the lifeguard signups? Thank you so much. Any questions for Tapashi?
Can you also include the information about the movie night
The
as
movie
well?
night, yeah, that's great.
Thank you.
I don't have flyers yet. We're still kind of in the planning phase for it. So just the dates right now.
And
But I'm happy to share that.
Well, and whoever that you're featuring for those 3 days would be great in the chat. Any other questions? Thank you so much, Tapashi. Matt?
Yep, and I'll add on a few things. So we are having a job fair on March 12th at Highbridge Rec Center from 11 to 4. And other city agencies will be there as well that Parks is hosting. I believe we sent that flyer out last meeting and to Youtha to post out, but we can send that out again. And I'll put a link to our Parks job posting page. We have construction ongoing at Alexander Hamilton basketball court, which is on schedule. The later on this month, we'll be prepping the Morningside ball field and getting that opened up for spring ball. And then also this spring, New York Junior League will be coming to Morningside Park on Saturdays and Sundays to do some volunteer work. They pick a park each year in Manhattan to kind of adopt and do volunteer work throughout the spring. So some of you may have remembered about 2 or 3 years ago, they did work in St. Nicholas Park. So now they're coming back to West Harlem. We're happy to have them, and we'll have them in Morningside Park. Those are all the updates that I have. Happy to answer any questions. I see Yutha raising her hand in the back.
Yeah. How are you?
Good.
I was just requesting if you could send out those flyers again. I didn't get it.
Yes, I will send them out.
Okay, thank you.
You go ahead.
Could I ask just a question of all?
Yeah.
Great. Thank you everybody for being here tonight. I appreciate your presence, your time, energy, and the interface that we have with CB9 and all of your various agencies. Could I make a request? The event announcements that you guys have provided here tonight, which are, you know, really awesome, a lot of really fun stuff happening in CB9. Could you send me, I just put my email in the chat. Could you send me like a quick 1-2 line synopsis of the different events just in an email format for ease of recording? I think that would really streamline our process and make it a lot easier.
Yeah. And I just want to thank Josh. He's preparing the minutes this month, so that will help him out a lot, just to get those bullet points for him. Thank you so much, everyone. So I think, are there any questions for Matt? Does anyone have any questions, anything about parks? So we're ready then to go into our presentations at 7:05 p.m. And I think I've already given you permission to share. Our first presentation is regarding the new Davis Center. Wonderful. And all the committee members, you already received the presentation. So if anyone is online and would like a copy of any of the presentations, please email me and I'll put my email in the chat also. Whenever you're ready.
Good
Just
evening.
give us a little introduction about yourself, and then you can go ahead with the presentation.
Critique needs an introduction? I don't think so.
Can you hear me clearly, and can you see the screen now?
Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you, Chair Jason. So good evening, everyone. Chair Jason, Vice Chair Robinson, members of the Parks Committee, District Manager Yutha Prince, Community Board 9 members and staff. And I see my good friend April Adams there. My name is Shatik Mitchell, Director of Civic Engagement, and I'm honored to be here today on behalf of the Central Park Conservancy to discuss an exciting new addition to the North End, the new Davis Center at the Harlem Air. As many of you know, Central Park is not just a world-renowned destination, but a vital green space that serves as a backyard for all of our residents that surround the park. The new Davis Center is designed with this in mind, providing enhanced recreational opportunities, improve access to the Harlem Air, and a more welcoming, inclusive space for our community to gather, learn, and connect with nature. So tonight, we'll share with you key details about the project, and I would like to introduce you to my colleagues who will be making tonight's presentation along with me. We have Sandy Huber, Senior Vice President for Capital Projects, Olivia Freeland, Vice President for Construction, Leah Day Van Horn, Chief of Staff and Vice President of Strategy and Programming, Darlene Lalonde, Director of Public Programs and General Manager of the Davis Center, and Stormy McNair, Senior Manager, Programming Partnerships. You can take it from here, Sandy.
Great. Everyone can hear me well? Good. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for having us here tonight, and so excited to give you an update on the progress that we're making at the north end of the park at the Davis Center. So just starting with this slide, just quickly, a view of the old Lasker Pool and Rink. It was a facility that was tremendously important as a recreational space, but the facility was poorly designed. It was really just laid into the landscape, really blocking all of the park circulation, causing a visual barrier in the park. And also, when it was constructed, there was a stream course that was original to the park and connected the 100th Street Pool to the Harlem Mirror. And that was diverted into a culvert. And it was just an engineering miscalculation. And really, since the beginning of the opening of the building, there was constant flooding problems. So if you go to the next slide, we did evaluate the facility and determined that we couldn't make repairs. And so we set forth these objectives, and you may remember them when we came to Community Board 9 when we were in the midst of design for the project. So we wanted to replace the existing facility, repair the damaged landscape and impaired hydrology, provide the largest pool and rink possible, remove that physical and visual barrier that's in the park, develop a design inspired by the scenic landmark, and build a welcoming, accessible, and environmentally sustainable facility, and serve more park users year-round, and expand nature-based recreation. And if you go to the next slide, start here with a rendering of the completed facility, and it is designed to fuse architecture and landscape architecture to build a facility that basically disappears into the landscape. And you can see that as an example all around Central Park, and Bethesda Terrace is really the best example of that. It's a very architectural space that is hidden from view until you approach it. And the project is more than just the building and the rink. It is also transforming this area of the park with restoration of a portion of the Harlemere shoreline, reconnection of those park paths from the forts down across the green roof and to Huddlestone and the North Woods. And these new connections around the facility will always be open, even if the program of the facility is restricted, like during pool season. Park users will be able to seamlessly navigate around the building since it's integrated into the landscape. And if we go to the next slide, there we go. This is a section view, so you can really see how, when I talk about that, it's integrated into the landscape. So if you look to your right, that is the Park Drive, the building underneath of the green roof that is across. There's locker rooms and restrooms to support the program. There's a central corridor throughout the building. And then on the right of the screen is what we call the gathering space, which is a large open area with picnic tables, a glass curtain wall with pivoting doors that can be opened during pool season. So this effectively works like a covered porch. People can come in out of the sun when it's not pool season and it is still open. During nice weather, those doors can stay open. And then obviously they close during the winter and the space is conditioned. And then there is a path that goes across the green roof, like I mentioned, to make those park connections. And if we go to the next slide. So we'll start kind of clicking through. If you've been in this area of the park, so you can test to all.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, sorry.
Yes.
1 second. As you're going through the presentation, if you could, or someone who's navigating, just use the cursor, the pointer, to kind of point out the various features that you're describing.
Absolutely,
So
sure.
Can understand. Thank you.
Yeah. I think Shatik's advancing the slides for me, but I think he's familiar enough with this project to be able to help with that. We started demolition of the Lasker Pool and Rink in September of 2021. So just a progress shot from that time. And then if you go to the next slide, Shatik. The first thing that we did was we made a cut down. We constructed what's known as a supportive excavation wall that really formed the back wall of the building. The drive is at the top there. You can see the cursor moving across. And then if you go to the next slide, the next step was to create the superstructure, which is basically the concrete shell of the building. So where the cursor is that central hallway. Just to the right of that is the gathering space, that large open area. And then all the way to the left is that back wall that you saw in the slide before that had the supportive excavation wall. And then that's what's now all of the locker rooms and restrooms for the facility. And so you can go to the next slide. And so this is a shot, it was taken about late fall, early winter. So, maybe just 2 or 3 months ago now, but just a broad view shot of the building. You can see the green roof going across. There is a skylight, what is that arc area that the cursor is kind of moving across to let daylight stream into the gathering space. You can see that the glass curtain wall is being installed. And then the pool, we filled the pool twice to check for water tightness. And then again, to turn on all of the mechanical systems to make sure that they were operating appropriately. And then you can go to the next slide. So I'm going to just take you through a series of renderings and then pair them with construction views so you can really see the progression as we're going. So this is the green roof. To the left, just beyond the vegetation, is the Park Drive. This green roof is known as an intensive green roof, meaning we were able to get the soil depths to plant large scale mature trees, and it'll be vegetated here. You can see Huddlestone that's in the distance. And so, you know, park patrons can walk across this path, they can sit on the benches, they can view the scenery, or they can look down at the activity that's happening below. And so if you go to the next slide, just a progress shot of those trees going in, so you can see the size of those trees as we're planting them. You can see Huddlestone there in the distance. And then just beyond this activity is that park path that you saw in that rendering. And then you can go to the next slide. Just a rendering then looking at the facility here. Go to the next slide. And just a progress shot again. So the curtain walls, that is the pool deck. You can see just a little bit off screen is the pool edge and the pool itself. It's a standard city depth pool of 3.8 feet. And we were working that day on installing the glass curtain walls. The next slide. A side-by-side rendering of the hallway. We also call this the spine of the building. So all of the restrooms, locker rooms are off of this hallway. On that, we kind of see that blue painted area. Those are the entrances to those facilities. And then to the right are these large portals that go to the gathering space. And if you go to the next slide, a construction shot of that hallway. You can see that green tile that was depicted in the rendering, the wood ceilings, the clear story windows, letting in light from the locker rooms, and that, you know, they were just poised to start to install the flooring when this shot was taken. And then the next slide. So finishes in all of the restrooms is ongoing. So just a shot of that. And then in the next slide, a rendering of that gathering space. Again, you can see that skylight in the rendering that lets light in, continuation of the green tile and the wood ceilings. And you can go to the next slide. So you can kind of get a sense, this photo is great. You can get a sense of the scale of the space with the two construction workers and all of the equipment that's there. So it's a very large space. On the next slide. So here, as I mentioned, you know, it's a transformation of this area of the landscape. So as part of this, we're daylighting that stream course, so reestablishing that connection between the 100th Street pool and the mirror that was diverted into the culvert under Lasker. And that's what this rendering here is depicting. The Park Drive will just be up and over this landscape vegetation on the left-hand side of the screen. And then to the right of the screen is a berm wall that just beyond that would be the pool and rink. And this is coming out of Huddlestone and heading north. And then if you go to the next slide, just a construction shot of that daylighting that stream course. This was one of the first things that we did. So this photo is probably from late 2021, early 2022. We highly engineered and stabilized that slope. That's the Park Drive where that excavator is sitting. So to create that stream course. And then go to the next slide. also performing sediment removals along the shoreline. We'll be establishing new aquatic plantings, new paths along the shoreline. You can go to the next slide. And then another piece of this is this circulation around the mirror on this side was not original to the park. It was added in the 1940s. And so we're going to be removing sections of it and installing a boardwalk so that that original condition of the mirror coming up to that rock outcrop can be established. And you can go to the next slide, Shatik. Here's a rendering kind of depicting that. And you can see the aquatic plantings and the water coming underneath of the boardwalk. This also allows park goers to get closer to the water, closer to any aquatic life that's in the mirror. And you can go to the next slide. And then just a construction shot of the boardwalk going in, and you can see those sediment removals that we performed to have the water come up to the rock outcrop. And then the next slide. So as I mentioned, one of our goals was to create year-round programming, and Leah and team are going to be speaking about that in a little further detail. But one way just to show how we're actually accomplishing it, because it is a pool, and then it will transform into an open area and then an ice skating rink. And just to the next slide. What we're doing is we're installing a riser system into the bottom of the pool. This riser system is basically a staging system. The company that we've been working with, they do staging for Super Bowl halftime shows, for Taylor Swift concerts. So they'll come in right after a pool season and install this riser system. And then you can go to the next slide. On top of that is a decking material that will go down. Between pool and rink season will be a turf season. And then after that, the turf season, then the ice rink will go down, which the next slide depicts the installation of the ice rink. We're at, we installed that now so that we could create some ice and test all of the mechanical systems for the ice rink. So then can turn it over to Leah, who'll talk about programming.
Great. Thanks so much, Sandy. It's really nice to be here with you all. I'm Leah Van Horn. I'm Chief of Staff here at CPC and VP of Strategy and Programming. Our programs team has been really hard at work pulling together the programming and operating plans for the new Davis Center, which is a concession that will be managing that's really larger than anything the Conservancy has taken on in the past. So we're just being really diligent about how we put all of our programming in place. Next slide. If all goes as planned, we really feel that the return of this once beloved public amenity in its re-envisioned state will just have a really tremendous impact on both the experience of visiting the park and on the communities that surround the park's north end. So between its sustainable design and the restored landscape, year-round access across all seasons on different surfaces, and a new community-led operating model that prioritizes public programming over profit and affordable pricing, this will become a community destination and just a wonderful place to skate and to swim and to play and discover, to relax, to picnic, and just to take a nature walk. So even before we started construction, community engagement was at the core of this project, and that's still very much the case today. Over the last year, we have been super busy continuing dialogue with community members about what is most needed out of this venue. This was done through a lot of surveying and tabling at events like Harlem Week, messaging through our new North End newsletter, which now goes to over 12,000 people monthly. And then you'll see, as you'll see later in the presentation, just through many, many meetings with community-based organizations, schools, local businesses, honestly, anyone who's willing to listen to us talk about our plans for the venue. And finally, we have intentionally selected year one program partners and schools whose missions and values are in complete alignment with our goals for the Davis Center. And so we're just thrilled to be able to use the Davis Center's platform to help amplify the amazing work that these organizations are doing day in and day out. So if you go to the next slide, and Shatik, it would be great if you could use your cursor here as well. It showcases the expanded access to the facility that Sandy referenced during the shoulder seasons. So in the green sections, these are the periods of time where the turf will be in place, or green lawn as we're calling it, or Harlem Oval. We're still settling on the exact name. And that was space that was dormant at Lasker before. The facility was closed to the public and the restrooms were not available. So we're really excited about this expanded access. You can still see a couple of slivers of gray, which is where the transition that Sandy mentioned will happen with the installation and removal of the riser system. And then as was the case before, in July and August, you will be our traditional public pool season. And between around mid-October through mid-March will be our ice rink season. Okay, next slide. So what does success look like for us in year one? It's really, really important to us that we take time over the course of the first year open just to test out what kinds of programs resonate most with those coming to this space. And as is the case with any new building, we want to make sure that it is fully functioning, that we have excellent customer service, and that it feels safe. We are also prioritizing local hiring so that the staff on site is reflective of the communities that we hope to serve. And we also hope that we're able to use this project as a platform to share other job opportunities open at the Conservancy. We're a staff of 400 people and always looking for great people who want to work in Central Park. So we're excited to be sharing out our job postings as well on site. And then, as mentioned before, we're also really focused on building these lasting and trustworthy partnerships. That's very key for us with local nonprofits. And then finally, but very importantly, we plan to measure the facility's impact on the community. And that's through closely tracking visitation, collecting feedback, testing out what is resonating most with the communities, and ensuring that the local partners and school groups have equitable access to the facility and are just able to fulfill their own programs. So we look forward to coming back to you often to report back on how these metrics are shaping up. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to my terrific colleague, Darlene Lalonde. She's our Director of Public Programs and GM of the Davis Center. She'll tell you a little bit about the partnerships we have in place.
Thank you, Leah, and it's a pleasure to meet everyone. As the Director of Public Programs and General Manager of the Davis Center, if you ever pass by, I look forward to meeting you in person as my office will be based there. Now, here's a glimpse of some of the programs we'll offer. During the spring and fall, the Harlem Oval will come alive with outdoor wellness classes, nature activities, school field days, and specialized North End tours. Designed for relaxation rather than high-impact sports, the Oval is the perfect place to unwind. We're excited to partner with Multitasking Yogi, Go Hard Dance, and others to offer a variety of fun programs. Next slide. We view the Harlem Oval as an extension of the park, a space to slow down, gather, and connect. That's why much of our programming here focuses on calm and connect and games on the green. Next slide. In the winter months, the ice rink will offer community skate sessions, learn to skate classes, learn to play, and hockey leagues for both youth and adults. We are committed to expanding community access and are prioritizing partnerships with local organizations such as Figure Skating in Harlem, Ice Hockey in Harlem, the Central Park North Stars, and the American Special Hockey Association. These organizations have utilized Lasker Rink in the past, and while we maintain a strong partnership with them, these organizations are independent nonprofits that run their own programs. But we are committed and are providing them with dedicated ice time to deliver their impactful initiatives. Next slide. Unlike Lasker Rink, which focused more on hockey, our vision is to create a balanced ice experience with more community skating, which is in light blue, and that's actually over 50% of our schedule, and prioritizing partnerships with local organizations in light green while offering other ice programs. Next slide. Now, as we head towards the first public pool season, we are extremely focused on working with the Parks Department to develop a swim program that resonates with the needs of the community. The outdoor pool will be open from the morning 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. starting at the end of June. But if you're not swimming, there are plenty of activities to do. Join us for a guided tour of the amazing Davis Center, soak up the fun at Summer on the Harlem Mere, or groove to some live jazz at the Great Jazz on the Great Hill featuring Jazzmobile. Plus, the Dana Discovery Center offers fishing, discovery kits, and lawn games, while the Central Park Farm Stand with Corbin Hill brings fresh and local produce. So, no matter your interests, whether it's music, nature, or just relaxing, Central Park has something for everyone. Now, I'll hand it over to my colleague Stormy McNair to discuss our community engagement plans.
Thank you, Darlene. Good evening, everyone. I'm so happy everyone's weathered the rainstorm tonight. No pun intended, as my name is Stormy McNair. But I just like to mention, along with Darlene, I will also be based at the Davis Center as the Senior Manager of Programming Partnerships. And I am truly looking forward to welcoming you all in person when you come to visit. So in addition to engaging our program partners, we've been spreading the word about the new Davis Center to wonderful organizations across the community, many of which are listed here on this slide. We've been taking time to get to know these CBOs who are truly excited to offer this support and sharing the word. And we are aware that this state-of-the-art facility, many will come to experience the welcoming and sustainable design as well as year-round programming. Now, since the Conservancy's beginnings, we have really been dedicated to caring for the Harlem Mere and the north end of the park. And the Davis Center is truly a continuation of that very commitment. While this will undoubtedly serve as a crucial hub to the Harlem community, it is for everyone. Next slide, please. Part of raising awareness, we will step outside of Central Park's perimeter. Here are a couple of photos, one of which we have the team and our supportive colleagues at Harlem Week, where we table annually, as well as a photo of the team with Councilman Youssef Salam at the District 5 Superintendent meeting. Now, I'd like to turn it over to Shatik Mitchell to share a bit more about our work in the North End.
Thanks, Stormy. So we envision the Davis Center as being connected to all of the great things happening in the park. And what you see here is a map of the north end of the park. Over the past 30 years, the Conservancy has made significant investments in the north end through various restoration and improvement projects. One of the most notable is the Conservatory Garden located on Fifth Avenue between 104th and 106th Street. The garden is currently undergoing its first comprehensive restoration since 1983. This project includes rebuilding pavements, fountains, modernizing infrastructure, and restoring benches, and enhancing accessibility with new ramps and pathways, and that is scheduled to open in May. On the Upper West side of the park, we have the North Meadow Center, which is located just north of 97th Street. It's also undergoing a major transformation to enhance the visitor experience. This project includes resurfaced handball and basketball courts, new pickleball courts, accessible restrooms, chess and checkers tables, bike racks, and upgraded public amenities. Meanwhile, in the North Woods, right here, which is one of my favorite parts of the park, it's a 40-acre woodland made for nature lovers. The North Woods features the ravine and the historic blockhouse, which is the oldest structure in the park. And if you ever get a chance to go to the North Woods, it definitely offers a quiet escape from the city. And on the upper right-hand side here, we have the Dana Discovery Center, which offers free educational programs, catch and release fishing at the Harlem Mere, located right here, and also free community events such as the Harlem Mere Performance Festival. And we currently have an ongoing exhibit that tells the story of how the Central Park gates were renamed, which highlights the park's entrances and includes recently dedicated gate, includes the recently rededicated gate of the Exonerated. Also, like mentioned previously, we have the Central Park Farm Stand with Corbin Hill, It's a Harlem-based nonprofit located at 110th Street and Malcolm X Boulevard, which offers fresh and affordable produce sourced directly from BIPOC-owned farms in upstate New York. Last season, the farm stand opened on Saturdays from July through November. We accept SNAP, EBT, and WIC, ensuring accessibility and affordability for all. This initiative is part of our commitment to providing fresh, healthy food options, and we look forward to having it back this summer. And finally, the Conservancy has also partnered with NYPD's Community Link. This initiative is to enhance public safety and quality of life in the North End, and it's stationed on 110th Street. By working closely with city agencies and local stakeholders, we're advancing efforts to expand access to mental health services and addressing homelessness. Through this initiative, we've already connected 48 individuals to transitional housing, a milestone we are incredibly proud of. We encourage everyone to sign up for our North End newsletter so that you can stay up to date with all of the happenings in the park. And if you see here, this is where you would go to subscribe to our Harlem newsletter, and I will put that link in the chat, and I'll pass it back to you, Leah.
All right, well, we're going to turn it over to questions, but we didn't want to close the presentation without letting you all know of one key date, which is Saturday, April 26th. That is when the venue is going to open officially to the public. We are going to have a community celebration from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. Our partners will be there. We'll have food and drink and tours of the facility, live music. All are welcome, and it's many, many years in the making, a big moment for the Central Park Conservancy. So we just hope as many of you who can will come out and join us as we celebrate the opening.
That was April 26th?
April 26th, yeah.
Thank you.
And then I think on the very last slide, we did put an email address here for anyone who has questions or ideas that you want to run by us. You can contact this group at daviscenter@centralparknyc.org. With that, I'll just turn it over to anyone who might have any questions, and thanks for your patience. I know that was a lot of talking.
Thank you so much. I remember when you all presented several years ago when we were just getting started with this. So thank you for coming back. And please continue to provide us with updates. And we have several questions. Go ahead, Karen. I saw your hand first in the chat. Go ahead and unmute
Thank you. Appreciate it. And what an exciting presentation, an exciting facility, really lovely. You may have mentioned this, and I apologize if I missed it. I had to step away for a minute. But what is the pricing going to be for the community to use either the ice rink or I don't know about the pool. If you could address that, and then just, I guess, maybe thoughts. The only concern I had sort of listening to it was it's a fabulous new facility, and it's going to garner potentially a lot of tourist activity and influencers and be mobbed in that way. And in New York, who's tried to go skating in Woolman Park? I mean, my kids have tried to go, and it's there's a line out the park literally of people from out of town. And so I guess those are the two kind of questions, like what's it going to cost, and how are you going to try to ensure that it really is community skate time and not
Yeah.
An influencer and everyone from Copenhagen wanting to come skate in Harlem.
Yeah, both questions were obviously very comfortable answering, but thinking a lot about ourselves. I will say we haven't made the pricing public yet, but what we are committed to is basically a model where we are fundraising private philanthropic funding to help offset the costs of our programming so that it is free and low cost as possible. And we've done just a ton of market analysis on what does that actually mean? How can we make sure that there are special access programs for those who might need it? How are we marketing the facility? And this kind of goes to your second question. We're very aware that Central Park is, one of the most visited locations in the country, and that we do have this other rink down in the lower end of the park. So the way that we're going out and marketing and talking about this facility is, and that's why we showed you the slide of sort of all the community organizations organizations we're talking to is very hyper local. We would never say we want to turn anyone away. As Stormy mentioned, we welcome everyone to come, but this really is about it being a community amenity. And so our efforts to talk about it and share news about it will be just much more local and much less sort of mainstream channels and seeking, press and that kind of thing.
Thank you. Real quick, two questions. The first, with the pool, I know y'all mentioned like the Learn to Swim program there. Is that already being included in the, I guess they have to, there's like a lottery, right, for kids for it to be placed if you want to swim, right?
Yes, and yes, I should have mentioned before, the public pool is completely free. It always has been, it always will be. So in terms of pricing, there will be no charge to use the pool. It will be a public pool run by the Parks Department, so a very similar pricing model for, sorry, not pricing model, lottery model for how you sign up for Learn to Swim previously. But what our team is doing is working alongside parks to identify the resources needed to really make sure that there is a robust Learn to Swim program, that we're reaching as many participants as possible at the pool. I don't know, Darlene, if you'd add anything to that, but it's not completely under our purview, but it matters a lot to us that the program is robust and thriving and we're reaching as many participants as possible. So.
Yeah. And just to add to that, our intention, just like we built this facility with and for the community, we're doing the same thing in our partnership with Parks Department. So even though they'll be running the facility and designing the program, the more feedback we hear from stakeholders like yourselves, we will share with the Parks Department. But our goal is to make sure that the service is consistent, that we are excellent in everything that we do, and that what we're providing really resonates with the community. So if you do have questions, you can feel free to email the Davis Center email, and we'll make sure Parks gets that information.
Great. And my last question was about any of the programming displaced by the closure of the Mir, like how many of those programs returned, and did they kind of get like right of first refusal or something, or how that
No,
works?
that's a great question. A lot of the organizations that, were at Lascaring, we've been in communication with them from the very beginning, and they actually also help think about the design of it. So those are the organizations that we actually reach out to first. So figure skating in Harlem, ice hockey in Harlem, the Central Park North Star. So we were committed to ensuring that when we talk about light programming, first and foremost, we wanted to make sure that we were working with those organizations that had to find additional home, but our goal is to bring them back home.
Yeah, and this time make sure that they feel prioritized versus, given, sort of the ice time that, undesired windows and, pricing that they couldn't quite meet. So really the priority users of the space.
Great, thank you.
Go ahead, Shannon, with your question.
Thank you. So I want to just echo April's comment, and I'm hearing some really positive things from the Central Park Conservative representatives, because I do remember some of the, I guess the right word would be contention, especially over the use of some of the outside independent and maybe outside community hockey organizations and their impacts. So just compliments on what you're saying and the approach that you're communicating. And some real excitement on seeing that bear out. Two questions of a personal nature. I was at the Mir yesterday, in fact, to see if it was iced over or not. I like to fish at the Harlem Mir. I've watched this project over the last several years. I've been amazed when you all drop the water level and I can walk 20 feet off the bank and go, oh, okay, that's the rock that keeps snagging my lures and all the rest of it. My question is environmental, aquatic life, impact. Has this project, while I appreciate the sounds like the center's opening up, from what I saw yesterday, it looks like some of your boardwalk, bulkheads, things of that nature are probably not on that end of April timeframe along the south edge. It looks like those dams are still up, and I'd imagine that those walkways are still being connected. So one, is that accurate? And then two, from an aquatic, the birds, the fish, the plantings, impact, have you folks taken a look at that to see, did we experience any fish kills? Have we lost any fauna or flora, something like that, And just in general, sort of what do we know about the health of the Mere bouncing back, especially in light of improving the connection to the pool and to the North Woods and the water system that comes into the Mere. Thanks.
Sure, I can take that question. So to take the first part on the boardwalk and the paths, yes, they are on the same timetable for the opening at the end of April. I know it may not seem like it now, but we will be finishing and have them ready for that time period. You probably see some smaller porta dams going up. That's because we haven't yet created that final connection of the daylit stream course to the Harlem Mirror. We have to remove that last piece to make that connection. And that's what we're working on now to do. So that's why you see some of those porta dams around. But we'll be done that work as well by the end of April. In terms of wildlife and the kind of aquatic life that are there, all of the water bodies in Central Park are actually mapped navigable water bodies. So anytime we do any work in them, we get permits from DEC, the Department of Environmental Conservation, and they have, as you can imagine, and as they should, very strict parameters as to what we can and can't do, and when we can do it as well. So when we had that large porta dam that was up, that was within a very specific window, we had to do a fish rescue where we lowered the water and then actually collected all of the fish and then basically put them over top of the porta dam on the other side, so that we didn't disrupt any of that habitat. Also through this work is shoreline stabilization and aquatic plantings to only amplify and improve the aquatic life and bird habitat in that area.
Sounds great. Thank you. I'm missing a 4-pound bass, by the way. So if you've seen one,
I'll be sure to let you know.
Sorry, just a point of clarification, the waters are navigable and under the jurisdiction of, what was it? EDC?
A DEC. Yeah.
Environmental conservation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are there any other questions, either online or in person?
I have a question.
You have some more? Go ahead.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, I have a series of short questions. What is the turf made of that is going on for the spring and fall season?
So the turf is it's a it doesn't have
Wait,
that,
maybe you want me to jump in?
yeah, it doesn't have,
Yeah.
and you can jump into it. It doesn't have the infill that I know has
Yeah,
been,
it doesn't have the
yeah,
rubber infill like you
right.
see on a lot of athletic fields. So it is a synthetic turf, but it doesn't have the rubber infill.
Right. And it's a
Okay.
polypropylene turf. It's not a nylon turf.
And then the spring turf season seems rather long, like 6 to 8 weeks, judging by that circle graph that you put up, but the fall season is only 2 weeks?
Still sorting out the timetable. Basically, what we're going to try to do is get the transition periods to be as absolutely tight as possible so that we are able to have as much turf as possible in the fall and the spring. So it's going to take us about a year to get in the rhythm of moving it from one phase to the next. But we're hoping by year 2, it'll sort of settle into what the windows are.
Yeah, because that circle graph looked like it was like 2 weeks in and then 2 weeks and then another 2 weeks out in the fall currently. And then what is the company that you're talking about, a staging company that is doing all these transitions? What's the name of that company?
It's a
Anybody
company,
know?
they're called Tait, TAIT. They're based out of Pennsylvania. So this is what they do is staging.
I'm familiar with them. Anybody else? Thank you.
Looks great. Super exciting. Yeah.
Great.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Nice to see you.
Bye, Shatine.
Bye, April. Bye, Utah.
Bye, Shatine. Another question. Will you
Yep.
be, I'm just confirming that you will be at the general board on the 20th?
At your general board?
Yes.
I'm not sure. I mean,
I know, well, we
I
can
thought
talk
this was
offline.
okay, okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Let's see. It's not been bad too. That's a question I'm gonna get street. Yeah.
I love Harlem. It looks a lot better than it used to.
It looks great.
Yeah.
And we should do well in that neighborhood. That's a good. This will be really nice, yeah.
4 years, 5 years.
I remember it. It's so far away now. We're here. It was too long, but I was like.
You see, like, I was good. I'm just here.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Youth, is he going to have a presentation, you think, or?
Yeah, they were supposed to come in February and they canceled.
Yeah.
March, so I was just confirming.
Mhm.
I want to make it shorter than I did tonight. Concise.
Consolidate.
40 minutes from the beginning. This is our test run.
I just thought you had to-
It's a big project.
Yeah, no, it looks great. They did a great job. And if they're gonna have they're gonna do it, it should be here.
Started, they came before. But thank you so much for being so patient, and we're gonna go ahead and you just tell me how to navigate.
Okay.
I'm just there.
All right, good evening, everyone.
Hello.
So I'm just here to show 4 additional sculptures that are gonna be presented for Harlem Sculpture Garden. One is a replacement. I've had to deal with a number of artists who had health issues. So we're gonna move to St. Nicholas Park. Yes. And I think everyone will be very, very pleased.
3 new and 1 replacement, is that what you said?
Yes.
That's really exciting.
So we're gonna go.
Yes,
Yeah, oh.
I'm gonna try to increase the size of this.
Yeah, I think it's coming up with something.
Thank you. And while she's bringing the slide up, we just made White Hot magazine.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I didn't know it was going to hit. I was totally shocked.
I was gonna try to increase it more here, but.
Let me zoom in.
If you
on
close the chat, I think it'll get bigger.
Oh, yeah, close the chat, yeah.
In the corner of the top right. Right
Okay,
already.
is that it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
You wanna broaden your screen?
Yeah, I was just gonna try to increase it here. I can't see it.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Scroll down to St. Nicholas Park.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I don't have control.
So Heather, she just needs you to scroll down to
Yeah.
St. Nicholas Park.
All right.
That's no.
How many you think? Just let me know.
That'll be on one side, the one we were looking at.
Is this here?
No, keep going.
Keep going? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no, let me look at the part out now. I have to take my glasses off.
There we are. All right, so we're coming up to the first.
We'll keep going.
Yeah, so we have, what, you're going right past it, yeah. So the first new addition is by Fiji St. Louis, she's the artist. But it will be fabricated by Beam Center, which is a youth educational organization. And they will fabricate the work. This is quite exciting, they're also the funders for this installation. This is based on Haitian lanterns. So, and we're going to be creating solar panels so that it can light up as well. The panels, as you can see, mimic stained glass. This is a part of a Haitian tradition, the artist is Haitian. And you can see how tall it will be, 8 feet tall. And we're working on the drawings right now, and there's already a team that has been formed with Beam. And so this is quite exciting because young people will be fabricating this piece.
But it doesn't require anchoring just because of the sheer weight of it?
Sit,
Doesn't require anchoring just because of the
well,
sheer
it's
weight
gonna
of
be on a
it?
base.
Okay.
It's gonna be on a base. This is the replacement sculpture by David Sheldon. And this is a great story because David Shelton is from Asheville, North Carolina, that experienced the flood from Helene. And I reached out to artists in Asheville to see if they would be interested in presenting in New York. And David said, not only will I come, I'll build you a new sculpture. And so we had to change it because he's been having some health issues, but I think we came out with a better piece here. And it's gonna be on a pedestal, and you can see how tall it is. It's gonna be where we had Felipe sculpture at 135th Street last year, which CBS seemed to love very much. But this one here is called After the Flood. Okay, and so we're gonna go down to Montefiore Park. Yeah. Oh, if you can go back one, just back one more, just to let you know, Gary Linares is going to be sponsoring Bridget Conway's land art piece, Grid Lines. And we're very excited because she's gonna use the Shoshujiban technique, where you char the outer wood, light to heavy. And so this is very exciting. Something like this has never happened uptown before. Mhm. Yes, and I'm gonna keep going. You've seen these pieces, and we're gonna go to Montefiore. Okay, here is the big piece. We have negotiated with Broadway Mall Association to bring Siobhan Nichols' Beacon. This sculpture weighs 2,000 pounds. It's gonna take a huge team to bring it. It's presently in LA. And it's gonna be shipped from LA to New York by the end of May. So she will have her piece starting after the others. We're gonna do it similarly like how we did with the hip hop sculpture last year, where it started a little late. We're also building solar panels around the base of this sculpture so it can light. Beam Center also fabricated this piece. So it's three entities. It's a team. It's Siobhan, Beam Center, and the Lewis Lattimore Museum, which is in Queens. So that's the team for this particular piece. We negotiated a lot with City Parks about how to deal with it because of the weight. So it will not be in the grassy area. It's going to be on the flat surface, like
That's where those like little seating areas are right there?
where, you know,
A little bit of
the
concrete.
walls, yeah, where the concrete is. So therefore, the weight can, you know, it can carry the weight. So, but this is a beautiful piece. City Parks liked it very, very much, saying this is gorgeous. So, yes. And so we're gonna move the piece that we originally wanted, which will now be on Broadway. That's the last piece. Yes, so we are going to move what we originally was gonna put there, Ileana Emilia Garcia. And she will now move to the Broadway malls at 148th Street. The Broadway Mall Association wanted to partner with us, so they're sponsoring Siobhan's piece and they're gonna sponsor the base for Ileana's piece. And we learned a lot that there's vaults underneath the Broadway malls. We didn't know that at all. And so weight is this real issue that we have been struggling with for the last several weeks. So we're gonna try to keep the weight for hers at 600 pounds. So that there's enough weight, but not too much weight, so that nothing collapses. So these are the 4 additional pieces that we're adding to the mall. We will also pick up Elizabeth Catless piece on Riverside Drive as a legacy piece, like how we picked up Mr. Hunt's piece last year. So we'll pick that up, we'll put signage there for the Elizabeth Catless sculpture, Invisible Man.
When you say pick it up, you mean you'll take charge of it?
We'll put signage there, so, because last year Parks asked me if we could pick up Mr. Hunt, which I said, naturally, yes, Mr. Hunt, and then he died. And that was so sad. And so now we'll pick up Elizabeth Catless because she's getting sort of like a lot of attention these days again. And so therefore we'll pick up the Invisible Man piece as well.
And that's where they're gonna be having the cleanup too.
Yes, they're doing cleanups there as well.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier.
Just clarification on pickup, that means it's a permanent piece, it'll stay there.
You talking about the Elizabeth Catless? Hers is permanent. Oh, yeah.
148th Street.
Like
It's gonna
150,
feature
yeah.
it as part of the overall.
Yeah, hers is permanent, and that's the only permanent piece she's ever done in the United States.
I love that.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
it. Was that it?
Yes, those were the 4 pieces,
Oh,
yes.
that was quick.
Yes. You told me to be quick.
Thank you for saying that, because
You're
they don't
still-
really like listen.
I know you told me to be quick, so I was quick. Does anyone have any
Are there
questions?
any questions?
Quick question.
Installation, you know, in terms of getting the pieces, are they going to, you know, be transporting, or are they gonna be installing on site? Or is it gonna be a combination of both?
Well, no, everything has to be transported and then installed, so each sculpture has its own individual installation. What I should have said for Morningside, Motohiro Takeda, he is trying to create his sculpture as a performance piece.
Okay.
So he has been talking to Elizabeth Masala, Matt Gendrich, we reached out to Shati the last couple of days. He would prefer a fallen tree. And then to assemble it that way and have people watch as he assembles it. So we are working, we're working that out. So that way he's assembling it so people can see, because it's a beautiful piece.
Yeah.
Yes, it's very beautiful. Yeah, I think this year we got some really good pieces, and the fact that we made White Hot magazine, that says a lot. That says a lot.
Wow.
Quick question.
Quick question,
Yes.
let me, stop sharing so I can see the audio. Oh, Shannon, go ahead with your question.
Just a quick
Oh,
question in terms of, is there any signage that will be in proximity to these pieces of art so that folks can either read or QR code or something along the lines? Just curious. Thank you.
Yes, we did last year too. Unfortunately, sometimes people kept moving the signs, but we will have signs for each sculpture. And we've decided to have QR codes for each of the signs, so that way people can scan it. And we did a lot of videos last year. We created 27 videos. We have our own YouTube channel. But we're thinking that might be easier than what we tried to do last year. It was a little bit more complicated. So we'll have the signage. We have a great young man who is going to do the signage like last year, but add the QR codes.
Outstanding.
All right, are there any other questions?
Oh, just that, we're gonna open May 2nd.
Okay.
May 2nd, opening day.
For the whole gamut.
Yes, the beacon will start later and we'll probably have, because last year we did that, we had a press conference for the hip hop piece, that was absolutely insane. We had like a huge crowd, police, councilman, Shauna Brew was very helpful. He actually brought the chairs, the sound equipment, everything. So we'll have a separate one with Broadway Mall Association. They really wanna change everything and be more inclusive of the community.
And I just, you know, it's about 8:00, 8:02. So are there any other, old business updates in terms of, any of our, I saw Claude. Let's see, let me put the Are there any other announcements either online or in person that anyone needs to make? Okay. Any old business? Oh, we have to go over that. I don't have any personal announcements. I know that we're gonna be meeting soon regarding the St. Luke's Episcopal Church. To find out where they are in terms of, they're trying to stabilize that building. But then other than that, then we can.
Sorry, can I ask a question about that?
Yes.
Was that covered at the last meeting? Maybe I missed it.
What?
Not being I'm not familiar with this item. What's happening there?
Oh, that's the church, across from Hamilton Grange that has all that scaffolding.
Oh, yes,
and everything.
yes.
So that's what, they're gonna be meeting soon with the community to try to work with the church or for the church to communicate on how they're coming along with trying to stabilize that and make it safer.
Oh, great, they're coming here or they're?
No, it's not coming here, it'll be online.
Oh, wow, that's great, because that place needs help.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't, coming here doesn't seem like a bad idea.
Yeah.
Is that that church on 146th?
41st, I think.
41st Street?
Yeah.
And comment.
They were having what they
Across
were.
from Hamilton Grange and City College.
Just,
Um,
does anybody in the room have the information of what the install is on that facility?
I think they're broke, right? I don't think they have the.
I mean, that's usually the problem. Right.
Congregation, right?
And just, they're just trying to,
They
just-
don't have money and the building is in disrepair, yes. It has fallen apart, so there's a lot of.
Severely.
Didn't the city college think about buying it?
Isn't that where they removed that building, the Hamilton House over there? Could that have?
I don't know, I don't know exactly where Hamilton House was moved.
It was moved from next door.
From
down
right next door,
down
so
the
they
park.
would mess up that foundation.
Actually, I was there watching them move the house. Alexander Hamilton's house. And then we.
It's on PBS if you want to see how they moved Hamilton Grange.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, I really do.
And if you go to Hamilton Grange, they show the entire video of how it took place there, so, and then we have the building across from Common Avenue Baptist Church, 356 Common Avenue, that has all that scaffolding up now. So we're watching, that's another building that we're watching.
No, but that one received $4 million.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, it received $4 million and it's gonna be a workforce development site.
Where, sorry?
The building on Common Avenue, that received $4 million. City College received, or CUNY received $4 million just recently. And it's gonna be a workforce development site.
Oh, yeah, from SDI, gave it to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yes.
They're talking about 142nd and Common Avenue.
No, 141st.
No,
141st, then what used to be
but I'm-
the fraternity.
Yeah, I'm talking
Right.
about.
Oh, good.
56 Common
Oh,
Avenue.
okay.
Well, I'm talking about 145th and
Oh,
Common
okay.
Avenue, the building right across the street from Common Avenue Baptist Church is another, building that we're watching.
It isn't Pat's
That's under
building
construction.
next door,
Okay.
That is under
Pat
construction.
Jones. Yes, Savon.
Yeah,
You're
that's what I
correct.
thought. Okay.
Yeah.
It'd be great to get, that workforce development crew in here, I guess. Yeah.
Wonder what we do.
And just to tap the knowledge in the room, does, the building on 141st across from, Hamilton Grange, that is historic, preservation? It's been landmarked,
Yes,
right?
it's part of the landmark area.
Oh,
I don't know if it has an
It's
individual
not individual.
landmark, it's just in the district.
Mhm.
It's on Sugar Hill, and Sugar Hill is landmark.
Oh, there you are. I thought I saw Claudette.
Yeah, landmark.
Yeah, oh, good. You are still on. Okay. 'cause I
I'm
didn't-
still here.
I know what happened. We moved the chat. We need to put that back up so that we can see. Go ahead, Claude. I thought you would have an announcement, Claudette. Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
Okay, let me stop sharing. Cause I think we're almost done.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Claudette.
Okay, so I have an update on 356 Convent.
Oh, good.
We have been in constant touch with the Landmarks Preservation Commission about this building and other buildings which DOB had issued demolition permits on. So a few months back, a while back, DOB had issued a demolition permit on 356 Convent. LPC and their structural engineer went to visit, along with the structural engineer for the church. In order to get a stay on the demolition, they had to get a bunch of permits from different people on the, so John had called me. John Weiss is the Deputy General Counsel for the Landmarks Preservation Commission. So on February 11th, LPC, DOB, and the Environmental Protection Agency, whatever it's called. It's the end of the night, okay? Went to visit in order to get a permit from environmental protection. And with that permit, they could stop the demolition order. The building is filled with asbestos. So before they could do any work to stabilize the building, they had to remove the asbestos. Yesterday, I got an email from John saying that they've gotten the permit from environmental protection. So now they can do the asbestos abatement and start the work after the abatement is completed to stabilize the building.
Thank you so much for that update.
Sorry, 365 is fraternity and 451 is the church? Okay, thank you. And do we know, does anybody have an idea what after the demolition, what the goal, what the plans? The owner is, CUNY is owning it afterwards, is that?
Well, where the fraternity is, they control the building.
Okay.
So they're gonna renovate it, what they're gonna do after.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah, we don't have any idea on what the renovation is. We sort of stopped, our entire goal is to stop demolitions. So that's where we're involved. I'll keep a kind of track of it for a while, but once we know that the demolition has been stopped and that the building has been stabilized, we sort of step aside.
That is true.
I think we're talking about different spaces.
Okay, Shannon, hi, Patricia Caldwell here. You talk, the space that you're talking about, is that the one across from Convent Avenue? Is that the property owned by Convent Avenue? That's true.
It's that building right at the corner that has the scaffolding up right across from Convent Avenue Baptist Church.
So did you just say when it stop demolition? I didn't hear you, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, there have been some demolition permits for, they're stopping that. They just need to do asbestos abatement first. Which is what you said.
Yeah, Ms. Richards is trying to stop the demolition.
No,
Yeah, so the demolition permit has been stopped.
Yes.
So now so in order to actually get the demolition permit stopped, the last hurdle was to get a permit from environmental protection to do asbestos abatement, because nobody can go into the building to do the stabilization work to shore up the building until the asbestos has been removed. So right now, demolition is stopped. They have all the permits necessary to do the abatement and to do the work of shoring up and stabilizing the building.
Josh.
So they have their EDP,
Yes.
their environmental permit, their permit from DOB, and their permit from LPC.
Very good. Thank you.
I see Michael Somerville on. Did you want to give us an update regarding your project at Morningside Park? Are you still on?
Are you going back to announcements now?
Yeah, I just see someone who came before a committee and presented this a year or so ago, and he was having his he's the one that has the vendor, the cafe that he's opening up at Morningside Park. I see him on the line, so I wanted to give him an opportunity to give an update. His permits had been delayed for quite some time. Okay, Michael Somerville, he may have stepped away. And then we have two gentlemen here, and I don't know who you are. They're with me. Oh, they're with you. So could you just tell us who you are?
How you doing? My name is Gary Norris. My company is JL Consultant. We partnered up with Savannah. I met Savannah in one of my past ventures.
Oh, thank you.
And because I was with a workforce development organization, she took one of my classes.
Oh,
She
nice.
took one of my classes and we hit it off ever since.
Thank you for
And so,
coming.
here I am to give Stefana some questions. She does a lot of great work for the community.
Yes, she does.
She's a staple in the community, and it has to be shown because she does great work.
We'll come back another time.
Yes.
No, we have a big project we're
Yes.
trying to do, and so we're still trying to flush it out a little bit.
Are you
And that-
considering using, excuse
He's
me,
sponsoring one of the schools.
are you considering using, a very famous artist in New York who has worked around, but he works with, metal, Jordan Baker Caldwell?
We have an open call,
Mhm.
and so
Have
anyone,
you seen his work?
yes, anyone can submit to our open call.
Okay, thank you.
So
Are there,
8:13 and we've got.
are there any other committee announcements? Did anybody have a chance to look at, suggestions, or does anyone else have any suggestions on what we'd like to do as committee members for the community or within the community? So this is our time, it's 8:13.
Yeah.
We've,
No,
we're just
no,
going.
We're gonna.
Yeah, you can go ahead. Oh, yeah, this is just committee.
And do we want to do that with the open?
So much for coming.
Thank you.
We can call the meeting to,
Bye, y'all. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
we can close the,
We can close the meeting and.
was there, before we do that, was there any, I don't, Wendy S24, can you identify? I just want to make sure that everyone, oh, hi, Wendy, I just want to I'm not familiar with who you are. Thank you for coming. Oh, you're on mute. I just wanted to, oh, yes, Wendy, could you just let us know who you are and thank you for coming?
You're back on
Oh,
mute.
she's, okay, oh, she's
Thank
walking in
you,
the
yes,
ring.
well,
But thank you so much. Oh, okay, you're off mute. Thank you. We just wanted to thank you for coming. All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good night, everyone.
Good night,
Right.
Hey, Heather, before I drop, I heard you say something. Can I hold your attention for 1 minute?
We adjourn.
Is there a second?
Hey,
You
Heather.
should have waited for me to go by, Chief.
Can I just, as point of clarification, are we continuing to meeting after we adjourn or?
Yeah, but we get to turn off the.
Well, we can, Shannon has a question, but.
The meeting is adjourned.
Just a 10-second comment that I'm gonna drop. I heard Heather say something. Wesley Hamilton earlier mentioned that Dog Run 142 is on track for an April opening. That could be 3 weeks, that could be 7 weeks. But in anticipation of this body's next meeting on April 2nd, we're already working on community programming to celebrate the capital investment into this new dog run. So we're talking to one of our local businesses and one of our local business supporters about doing a community information session on dog care and grooming, especially in light of the new materials in the dog run. We're also talking to a local vet up on Broadway in the 149th Street area to come down and do a health and wellness presentation. And then in July, we're beginning programming for a pool party. All that to say is an offer. I know April is closely tied to the St. Nicholas Park Dog Run community, as are we. But April, if your body comes up with ideas that are dog park or dog owner in nature and are looking for a body to partner with to maybe do some community programming, love to help out with that because we're going to have a brand new shiny dog run that will be able to facilitate that. Something to keep in mind.
Great, thank you very much. Good night.
And thank you for sharing that link too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Did you put the
That's
link?
madness. Talk to you folks later. Cheers.
Okay, so then a motion to adjourn.
It was already done. He's supposed to
Because we still
adjourn.
have some business to
At
take care of, but to
8:17.
Yeah,
have our
we can
community
talk
partners
afterwards,
lead.
but let
Yeah.
them.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank y'all.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Okay. but-
Closing communities session at 8:17.
Yes.
And I'm happy to open up with, if we're ready.
Yeah.
I'm gonna restate my request.
Let me go ahead and, I'm just gonna mute it then.